Every composer should have a pet instrument जिसके साथ वो comfortable हो. It can be any instrument. For me, it is the keyboard. अभी आने वाली जितनी भी टेक्निकल चीज़ है जो मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा वो कीबोर्ड के थ्रू समझाऊंगा, पर ये कॉन्सेप्ट्स सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स के लिए एप्लीकेबल है. Western music has a total of 12 notes which make an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What I just played is an octave. ऐसे ही एक ग्रैंड पियानो में 7 ऑक्टेव होते हैं. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. When you play a key in one octave, which is the C, let's take the C, this is the central C, this is the C note, and then play the same key in the next octave, which is another C, उसकी frequency या pitch double हो जाती है. There are 12 notes per octave. From C to the next C, it has 7 white notes, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to C. And you have black notes, which are 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Together they make 12 notes. To understand the concept of scales, one needs to know what is a half step and a whole step. A half step is also called a semitone. So the next key you play is your half step or the semitone, and the whole step, which is called a tone. The black keys are called flats and sharps. Sharps raise the note by a half step, which is this is the sharp, which is raising the note by a half step, and flats lower the note by a half step, which is a D. It lowers it by a half step. So C sharp is raised to C, and also D flat, which is the same key that is lowered from D. So this particular note becomes a C sharp, also a D flat. So both of them being the same black key on the keyboard. The term scale comes from Western classical music. In Hindustani/Carnatic music, we have raga, which is also derived from scales. Scale is basically a selection of notes. Each and every song in the world that you hear is made from these 12 notes, which gives you an idea of what notes to experiment with any song. A combination of notes in the 12-note octave is a scale. If you play all these 12 notes together, it will give you a chromatic scale. That's a chromatic scale. Scales बहुत तरीके के होते हैं, but the most common ones are the major scales and the minor scales. The easiest way to remember the construction of a major scale is your C major scale, because as I said, it's the all white keys. All white keys from C to C, that's a C major scale. जो हम लोग सारे गामा पधा निसा बोलते हैं, the sound of सारे गामा पधा निसा, that's your C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This is the sound of a scale, C major scale. And in C major scale, see how we go the whole step. This is your whole step from C to D. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step because you don't have any black key here. Then F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. A to B is a whole step. And again B to C is a half step. Again, which has no black key in the middle. So this is a major scale. इसी तरह एक माइनर स्केल को समझने का सबसे आसान तरीका is to start from A minor scale, which is your A. This is your A. So A minor scale means, because it has all white keys again. So that's your A minor scale. Minor scale का construction goes, we go whole step, then half step. Again, nothing here. Half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and whole step. So now, with this philosophy, let's play the G minor scale. G minor scale is this. Da, 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 da. Again, it has whole step. Same philosophy as A minor scale that we saw. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So now you know the construction of a major and a minor scale. This can help you identify your scales in any key. I mean any key. The foundation and the basic understanding of sharps, flats, tones and semitones is very important for this. एक स्केल में जितने नोट्स होते हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग अलग अलग टाइप के स्केल्स होते हैं. There are 7 note scales, there are 6 note scales and there are 5 note scales. इसमें 7 note scales सबसे कॉमन होते हैं. the most of the songs that you hear in the world, they all come from these 7-note scales, whether it's major or minor. और उसमें भी major और minor scales ही सबसे ज़्यादा यूज होते हैं because that's the most commonly used scales in the world. Also in minor scales, there are 3 types of minor scales. First, natural minor. Then we have a harmonic minor. And the third, melodic minor. And then we have the modes. Modes are also similar to normal scales, just shifted by a degree. Let's take C major scale for example. All white keys from C to C. And now, when I shift this scale by just 1 degree, from C to C, I just go to D to D. I play the same pattern on the white keys. It'll be like, you get your first mode, which is a D Dorian mode. So modes are derived by playing scales in different degrees. Here, this is your D Dorian mode, this is your E Phrygian, this is F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, Locrian, and C. Now, in D Dorian is equivalent to your Rag Bhimpalasi in Hindustani. E Phrygian, which is a little bit of it gives a sound of what do you call Middle Eastern. It has got a very Middle Eastern vibe, and also Rag Bhairavi in Hindustani. Then you have your Rag Yaman as F Lydian. This is F Lydian. Then you have a G Mixolydian, which is your Rag Khamaj. Ek Kudi was created on Mixolydian scale. Then you have your A Aeolian, which is your A minor scale, which we call it as A minor scale. And then the B Locrian. It has got a very augmented and very diminished feel to it. So it is important to know your scales well to understand the mood. इसके बाद there are major modes, minor modes, melodic minor modes, harmonic minor modes, etc. ऐसे कई सारे modes हैं which you can play around and practice with. Then we move on to the 5-note scales. The 5-note scales which are called pentatonic scales. There are major pentatonic scale. Basically, I've omitted the 2 notes out of the 7-note scale, the 4th and the 7th, which is giving me my major pentatonic. And similarly, minor pentatonic. Your major pentatonic is equivalent to your Rag Bhupali Hindustani, and minor pentatonic is your Rag Malkos. Play with these keys and create your own songs. Every scale expresses some kind of emotions, and it is all about how you hook your audience by playing with these emotions. Minor has a little sad, dark, melancholic vibe to it, whereas major has a very happy feeling to it. But these things shouldn't constrain you. A major can be sad and a minor can be happy as well. It's always up to the composer. For example, Zinda Ho Yaar Kafi Hai from the film Lutera. It is a very sad song. In that moment in the film, everything is destroyed for Ranveer's character, till that song is made in a major scale. So this is a major scale. And in the same way, when you can play positive, romantic songs in minor. For example, Pashmina, which is actually a very beautiful and a very happy romantic song, is created on a minor scale. Like, so this way. Then let's talk about the 6-note scales, which are called hexatonic scales. Either you omit 1 note from a 7-note scale, or you add 1 note to a pentatonic scale, you get your hexatonic scale. In the pentatonic scale, let's say the C minor pentatonic. This is your C minor pentatonic. When we add one note to it, which is your F sharp, this note, we sometimes call it a blue note because it comes from your blue scale, which is so basically you're adding a flat or a fifth note to make a pentatonic to a sixth note scale. For any composer to compose music or to play any song or make any melody, a composer needs to have the knowledge, thorough knowledge of these scales, especially the major and the minor scales in all the 12 notes. The way to make this learning experience more comprehensive is to master one scale at a time and then move further. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको सी मेजर स्केल बताया, जब आप हर नोट पे आराम से इन स्केल्स को बजाने लग जाओगे, उसके बाद आप स्केल्स बजाने की प्रैक्टिस मेट्रोनोम पे भी कर सकते हो. इससे आपकी उंगलियों में लय आएगा. Well, this is a long learning process. There is no end to practicing these foundation skills. Scales and notes आपका कभी पीछा नहीं छोड़ने वाले. Composition का कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है. So keep practicing.